Hey, do you guys remember when we introduced Miss Marvel into the MCU? Yeah, and do you guys remember how we changed her powers completely and how everybody loved that? Oh wait, they hated it? Oh. Well, we're gonna do it again. What's up guys, Mason the Brock Anderson here, and this is Echo Season 1, Episode 5, Maya. Eve, I don't even know what to say. This was such a dull finale. Hardly much build up. They basically just have all of Fisk's men about to attack the festival, the powwow, for some reason. Don't really know why, outside of, oh, I'm just gonna kill your family because, oh, that's gonna hurt you. Sure, whatever. They set up for this battle where Fisk has captured Bonnie and Maya's grandmother. Don't know how he managed to get a hold of Bonnie. We saw him talking to the grandmother. But Maya just shows up at the festival somehow. She just gets in there amongst all these people. Somehow manages to find the building where Fisk is. Did she get a message from him or something? No, I don't know. She just walks in there and then he's in there with her. All these guys manage to just get into the festival somehow. Just walk in. You got people telling them, hey, you can't be here. Oh, no, we're going to be here. Don't think that's how that works. I'm pretty sure that's when the cops get called. But sure, just let them waltz in. Whatever. And this all builds up to probably a 3-minute climax, if that, which consists of Maya summoning the power of all of her ancestors, giving that power to Bonnie and her grandmother somehow. Don't know how that works, but she just does it because she can now. You got Biscuits running over guys in a monster truck because, oh, Goofy, isn't that so funny? Everybody laugh. You got Henry taking out Zane with one bullet. And then you have Maya going into Fisk's mind and I guess trying to convince him to not be evil. That's an exciting finale, isn't it? They do know that they're writing a superhero show, right? We want to see the good guys fight the bad guys and win. We don't want to see the good guy do a mental thing and, oh, I'm going to try to change your mind and make you a better person. It felt very reminiscent of Avatar to me, the way that Aang defeats the Fire Lord. But the difference is we got a lot of build up and we had a fight. We had something to look at that was exciting, and then we get the finale where Aang pulls out this power and manages to basically stop him from being evil. In this scenario, we don't get any fight scene. There's no build up hardly at all. And then all of a sudden she's trying to convince him to not be evil. And I don't think it even worked because I think he's still going to go on and do all of his evil stuff. So I don't really understand what this is all building to. It just feels pointless. But we'll talk about probably the biggest thing that, granted, if you don't know this, maybe this isn't that big of a deal, but I decided to look it up because I was curious. Because as Maya's talking to her mother's spirit or whatever, and her mom starts talking about, you are the echo of our generations, or however she put it, it kind of clicked in my mind that, okay, this is not what Echo was in the comics then, right? Because I don't think this makes sense in the idea of how comic books work. The idea of how superheroes work. This does not sound like how a superhero would get their name of, oh, you're an echo of the generations. That sounds like a preachy progressive writer trying to be like, oh, this is so powerful, guys. You guys should feel inspired by her story because she echoes for all of her people. It feels very preachy and over the top. And honestly, to this point, like, there were very clear messages of not just women empowerment, but also empowerment of the Native American people. But the message was decent. It was subtle. It wasn't in your face until this episode. Then all of a sudden this episode became super preachy, super in your face, and everything I hate about stories like this that just become these messages of empowerment for people. That's not why I'm here. I'm here to be entertained by a fun, exciting story. And instead what I'm getting is slapped in the face going, hey, you should respect these people because they're powerful. And I always just feel like these stories are so much more offensive than they are actually empowering. Because it feels so condescending when these stories are written, whenever, how they're told. I'm trying to think of the best analogy here. It's like a parent who's looking at their child and their child has done something mediocre, but they're a kid. So you're just going to pat them on the head and be like, that's amazing. You're so good. You're so amazing. You did such a good job here. That's what these stories always feel like to me. They feel like a parent talking down to a kid and be like, hey, we're proud of you. You're amazing. And obviously this is always from the outside looking in because I am definitely not going to have a story like this written about somebody who looks like me. But from the outside, I feel like I would be offended by stories like this because they never feel like they're done out of genuine care. They never feel like they're done in an entertaining way outside of Black Panther. Like, the rest of these stories in Marvel always feel so over the top and preachy and slapping you over the head with it that it just feels like it's more done for show than actually because they want to represent people and they want to inspire people. It feels like they're doing it because it's part of what they feel like they need to do to be like, hey, we represented you, we did our jobs, you should support us because we supported you. And they do it in the laziest possible way. It's never done with actual effort. So that's just my little soapbox rant on that. I know my opinion may not matter because I'm a straight white male, and if that's how you feel about it, then fine, I don't really care. But from the outside looking in, that's how I feel like these stories are handled. But one thing I will say, looking at what Maya was in the comics, what her character was, what her powers were, I really wish we could have gotten that Maya, because that sounds cool. Sort of like with Daredevil, how his vision is gone, but his hearing became superhuman. With Maya, apparently her hearing is gone. It's her vision that gets kind of superpowered because she can watch people and copy certain things about them. From what I understand, it was their fighting style, their fighting techniques. Apparently, she was able to copy Matt Murdock's fighting prowess as Daredevil. She was able to copy Bullseye's perfect aim. That sounds kind of cool. Obviously not overpowered like what we saw from whatever Emilia Clarke's scroll was able to do at the end of Secret Invasion. That was stupid. But somebody that is able to watch somebody and copy them just from being able to see them. Like, how effective would that be? Because for somebody like Daredevil, his fighting is very good. But if somebody can copy that and use that against him and find his weakness because of the way he fights, that would be kind of cool. And so finding out that's what Maya was in the comics, I kind of wish we got that Maya and not this boring, dull, inspiring, empowering Maya. So all of that is unfortunately just really frustrating. And it's something that unfortunately has been very common for most of Marvel since Endgame, which is the idea for a story is there. The idea of what Maya Lopez is, who she could be, is there. Honestly, just the fact that she has this connection with Kingpin, she's basically his adopted daughter. There's that connection, and she's trying maybe to get out from under his thumb. She's trying to find her own path. You could make connections. Apparently in the comics, she and Matt were very close. They started dating at one point. You could have not necessarily a romantic connection with her and Matt Murdock, but you could have that connection. And Matt seeing somebody that is trying to get out from Fisk's influence, obviously he's somebody who has that personal connection to him as well, not a son in that sense, but he has found a way to get out from under Fisk's influence in the past, after everything that happened with his dad. So you have that connection there. Why not have him involved in the story? Not taking it over, but being a side character that's there to sort of guide Maya in this path. You've got this idea for a story there, and they just do nothing with it. Instead, they focus more so on Maya basically going up against Fisk's empire, trying to create her own empire, and then suddenly at the end it becomes a story of how she represents her people, and she's there to help her people and there to fight for her people because that's how it's been. That's their legacy. And once again goes into what I was saying before about the lack of focus in the show. Because so far, it's been mostly about her going up against Fisk. That has been, I would say, 60 to 70% of the show. And then 10 to 15 has been her relationship with her family. And then the other part of it has been her connection to her ancestors and this power that they seem to have. And so the fact that this episode was basically 80% about the connection with her history, when it had so little influence building up into this episode, it just feels like it's out of nowhere. Suddenly it's a big deal. It's that lack of focus. They didn't know what they wanted to focus on. They didn't know what they wanted the main story to be. So they made it the action stuff first to get people interested, to get people watching. And at the end they said, actually, no, we want it to be about this instead. So ultimately that leads to a very unfocused story. It leads to a very unfocused season. And it's going to lead to me probably forgetting about the show in a few weeks. There's just not really much here to get me interested, to make me remember it. And like I said, that's kind of par for the course for Marvel, mostly since Endgame. A lot of their stuff has been pretty forgettable, especially with this run of shows and movies that I've been on with like She-Hulk and Secret Invasion and the Marvels. You have all of these shows and movies that just really do not grip you. They're just there to fill the time, to fill the space, to move some of these characters along, give them a story because, oh, well, people like Sam Jackson as Nick Fury, right? People want to see She-Hulk, right? People want to see Captain Marvel. Just kidding. But people want to see Maria Rambeau, right? And maybe Miss Marvel. And ultimately, that feels like the level of effort they're putting in. It's just this idea of, well, we've got these characters, we have these actors that people will want to see. Even with this one, maybe not many people were interested in Maya's character, but they bring Kingpin in because they know people want to see Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin again because he is so good as this character. I'm excited that he might be coming to Dragon Con this year. It'll be cool to meet him, hopefully. But unfortunately, that is not enough to make a good show. You have to have a good story, you have to have good characters outside of just the one big draw that you have, and they just didn't do enough with it. Whole season was not good enough. This final episode was not good enough. I'm disappointed and a little frustrated. I had a little bit of hope that maybe this was one that just flew under the radar, wasn't amazing, but was solid. And unfortunately, it was just as bad as a lot of the other stuff that I've been watching from Marvel recently. But we'll see what happens next with Agatha All Along. I think I heard better stuff about this one. Fingers crossed that I have some fun here. But with all that being said, those are my thoughts on this final episode and this season as a whole. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What were your thoughts on this final episode and this season? Let me know, we can talk about and discuss all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Marvel reviews and maybe Echo if it returns in the future. Also check out the channel, we have a lot of other reviews on there, so check those out if you have time. But until next time, I hope you guys have a great day. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace out.